sure if that battery works.
What have we here? Fossils?
Yeah, those are the leaf fossils.
Don't they need to be like cleaned up, like chipped on or something?
Some do, yeah. Some are going to need to be maybe prepped out a little bit more. Some are the way they are. My best one is this one, I think. It's a part of a little fir
Nice.
branch. But that's also kind of a nice one. Nice big leaf.
Yeah.
This one's kind of a whimsical, but when they're wet they don't show up as well, but it's several leaves are in here, or partials, and then a whole scattering of seeds. Kind of a nice piece. But anyway, cutting a Thunderegg. Okay, I'll load one of these small ones up because I can be sure that these ones will cut. I'll look for one that might cut nicely. It's got some red agate showing. So these are a kind of an uncommon Thunderegg from New Mexico. They have red centers, and the bright red coloration is not as common in the Thunderegg world. So I put on my gloves to avoid getting a lot of oil on my hands, and lift the lid on my dinosaur saw.
How old is your saw?
It's very old. It's probably at least 50 years old, maybe
50
older.
years.
It might be older.
Wow.
It's kind of hard to say. I got it from a rockhound estate up in Shady Cove when the old rockhound died, and that was probably 10 years ago for me, and I can imagine he must have had it at least 40 years because he also had that old washing machine that he made into a polishing pad. He put mounted a motor on it, and a pulley system, and underneath that board is a polishing pad. But the whole thing is fabbed out of an old washing machine bottom.
Wow.
Which is kind of a
ingenious.
Antique. Yeah, they were very, the old rockhounds were very adept at making things like that.
So you put the rock in the clamp?
So I'm trying to find about 3 points at least that it will set. So I've got 1 point there,
1 point,
2 points there,
2 points,
and then the third point of contact will be on the other side of the vise.
Okay.
Then I clamp it in, and as it gets a little tighter, I try to wiggle it and see if I can wiggle it. 'Cause if I can wiggle it with my hand, then it's probably going to tear out of there from the pressure of being cut, and that has a chance of warping my blade, which my blade I suspect might already be warped a little bit.
Nice big blade though.
I'm not sure about it. Yeah, it's not cutting very well. For some reason the saw is messed up. So I'm wiggling on that a little bit, putting some pretty firm pressure on it, trying to pull it out, and it's not moving, so I'm pretty happy with that placement. So I'll tighten the vise a few more turns to really get it tight. Then I will scoot the rock up against the edge of the saw to where it just barely makes contact, or almost is ready to. And then I tighten. Here's another old rockhound innovation. He used an old pair of pliers, which he mounted some threads on so that they would clamp down on the main rod, and that's what turns slowly and screws the rock into the saw blade. So it's basically just a kind of a fabrication using old set of pliers.
Nice.
They clamp on. It's ready to cut at this point, and we just pull down the lid to contain the vapors.
Pull down the lid.
Turn on the saw.
Turn it on.
Turn on the screw feed, and then give it some power.
Power it up.
And it's ready to go. It's going to crank along for probably about, usually takes about 7 or 8 minutes maybe for a rock of this size, a couple inches.
All right,
So
well, we'll bring you back. We'll bring you back in 7 to 8 minutes and show you the results.
Sounds good.